Tonight, new hospital update.
2035 is what we like to talk about as the end of our first phase.
Where the plan stands for the region's massive new healthcare facility. And
it will definitely be an all-of-community response.
The cost to cover it. Encampment future. The region refines its plan.
I think it was really a demonstration of good faith.
To clear a site in downtown Kitchener for a transit hub. Firefighter remembered.
Remarkable father and devoted husband, just an incredible pillar of the community.
A Mitchell man who died.
He was a natural leader. He was a friend to everyone.
In a sudden, unexpected tragedy. Good evening. We begin with some new details tonight about the Region of Waterloo's plan to clear an encampment from the site of a future transit hub in downtown Kitchener. A public meeting is set for January 7th to discuss changes to the bylaw that the region is hoping to use. CTV's Colton Weens live now with more on this. Colton, we know there has been talk of a legal challenge to this bylaw. The region has now made some changes to that bylaw.
Yeah, Tony, some new amendments to the bylaw for the property at Victoria and Weber set out a goal of having the land vacant by April 1st and also offering an individual housing plan to each resident who is still on the site. Tents and residents still remaining on Friday morning at 100 Victoria Street North in Kitchener. The Region of Waterloo now looking to amend the bylaw it's aiming to use to clear the site for a new transit hub. Originally, it required residents to vacate the land by December 1st. It's now proposing a date of April 1st and defining anyone who lived there as of last April 16th as a resident, along with creating individualized housing plans for each resident. Defining those arrangements as emergency shelters and motels on a temporary basis, along with transitional and affordable housing, and having social workers available, along with moving and storage options for personal belongings.
I think it was really a demonstration of good faith. From the very beginning, we have worked with individuals to have housing plans so that they can have stable housing. We have always been a housing-first community, and our outreach workers talk to individuals and try to get them the services they need and get them in a more permanent housing position. So we've done that all along. We've just formalized that right now.
The region's latest update said 24 residents had found alternative accommodations and there were 2 residents remaining, though more people than that were on the site today.
There's 3 or 4 people from that original cohort. There are many more people. I think we're probably up to around 30 people now.
A previous court injunction has kept the region from prohibiting entry to the encampment, putting up fences, or disposing of residents' personal belongings. A Superior Court hearing to determine the bylaw's constitutionality is set for February. Waterloo Region Community Legal Services tells CTV News it doesn't feel the amendments are enough to make the bylaw charter compliant, and the proposed amendments ignore the reality of the significant gap between the number of people experiencing unsheltered homelessness in the region and the number of indoor spaces available. The public will be able to give input on the bylaw amendments on January 7th. Regional Council will consider the proposed amendments at a special meeting on January 9th. Tony.
Okay, CTV's Colton Weens with the latest developments surrounding the encampment story. Colton, thank you for that. Let's get a first check on the weather now on this Friday. Heading over to Leanne Evans in studio, almost on cue right before Christmas week. We get some blustery, wintry weather rolling in and a big turn from yesterday.
Yes, certainly. Those temperatures, whew, did we ever see a roller coaster? And the conditions, roller coaster as well. It's certainly a very messy end to the week, and that continues as we head into the evening hours. Very important to keep top in mind as you are heading out on your evening commute, because we do have some snow squall warnings in place. Waterloo Region in through London actually just fell under the snow squall warning about an hour ago, but communities north of Waterloo Region have been under it for most of the afternoon. We're seeing some lake effect snow squalls off of Lake Huron, and that is why the warning's in place. Looking at anywhere from 5 to 15 centimeters of localized accumulation, depending on where you're joining us from. This will continue through this evening. However, it will will weaken as we get into the overnight hours, but we are going to be seeing deteriorating travel conditions into the evening hours. Okay, special weather statement in place for Waterloo Region as well for gusty winds and icy surfaces. That's because we saw temperatures very mild early this morning that fell off as we went into the afternoon and evening hours. We're going to talk all about that and try to look at if there's a chance for a white Christmas coming up in the long-range forecast. Tony.
All right, lots to cover. Leanne, thank you. It's described as a massive and much-needed upgrade to healthcare in the community. We have new details tonight about the projected timeline for Waterloo Region's new hospital, when it could welcome its first patients, and how much of the cost will have to be covered locally. CTV's Krista Simpson joining us from Elmira tonight. That's where elected officials, Krista, got an overview of the project today as it stands. And what do we know?
Tony, it's being described as a generational project similar to something like Ion Light Rail Transit. It's also considered critical as the region's population is expected to swell to 1 million people in the next 25 years. A 2 decades initiative, but one that so far is moving faster than most hospital developments. Waterloo Regional Health Network President and CEO Ron Gagnon told elected officials at an all-council meeting in Elmira.
Getting first patient in the new hospital is a critical priority because we don't have anywhere near the capacity that we need today to meet the needs of this community, and definitely won't have it to meet the needs of the growing community.
The new facility will be at the University of Waterloo, and when complete will be 2 million square feet, making it one of the largest community hospitals in the province, Gagnon says. Right now, it is hoped it will welcome its first inpatient in 2035, with the final phase of building complete in 2039, though the timeline is dependent on approvals from the Ministry of Health. The next goal, to get the project formally in the provincial budget with a construction start date.
The reason we're trying to move at a rapid pace is we know that every year we delay is significant escalation costs, which raises the cost of this project every single year.
It is anticipated that 25 to 30% of the project cost will have to be covered locally, that part shared between hospital revenue, a large fundraising campaign by the Hospital Foundation, and funds from local municipalities.
It will be a big ask. There is no question about that. But don't forget there's the foundation, there's community members and other agencies that will help raise money. And then they will turn to both the regional government and area municipalities. So it will definitely be an all-of-community response.
Exactly how much the total project will cost, however, hasn't been shared. Gagnon says they hope to present a more concrete number sometime in the next few months.
I talked about 25 to 30% being invested locally. That's what we invest locally, but we get 100% of the benefit locally. Right? So the healthcare benefit, the financial benefit, the job benefits all stay here for a 25 to 30% investment.
It's estimated that just during the construction of the new hospital, about 19,000 jobs will be created in the community. This massive project will be done in phases and also includes plans to expand Wren at Chicopee, formerly known as Freeport Hospital, and renovate the Midtown or former Grand River site. Gagnon says doing the work in 3 phases as planned should help expedite the process, getting approvals faster and keeping costs down. Tony.
Krista Simpson live with the latest on the new hospital plan for Waterloo Region. Krista, thank you. Next, we're going to turn to some developing news we're following out of Welland. An armed standoff between police and a gunman currently underway. Residents are being told to shelter in place after a Niagara Regional Police officer was shot in the chest. Let's go to CTV's Alexandra Hollick now, who's been monitoring the latest developments on this for us. Alexandra, fill us in on what we know so far.
Tony, the latest update is that a male suspect is currently hiding in a building, and police, along with negotiators, are working towards a peaceful surrender. A shelter has also been set up at a nearby community center in Welland for those who have been displaced or can't access their homes. It all started early this morning when Niagara police say they received a call from City of Welland bylaw officers at an old church-turned-residence building in the area of Lincoln Street, Plymouth Road, and 3rd Street. Here's what police say happened next.
Shortly after our officers arrived, they were met with gunfire from a male inside that building, and one of our officers unfortunately was hit. That officer's been transported to a hospital for what's considered non-life-threatening injuries. We believe that the body armor did its job and protected that officer.
Police say they've been told the suspect is known to city bylaw officers. Staff have been evacuated from 2 schools, but a lockdown at the Welland hospital has been lifted, although access is limited because of road closures. And earlier today, Premier Doug Ford spoke about the officer who was shot.
Got shot in the chest and are in the hospital. The officer, she's a wonderful person. She's going to survive. And I just want to say our prayers and thoughts are with the family. Our prayers and thoughts are with all the police on both sides of the border, and that we'll always have their backs. And may God bless her, and I pray everything is going to work out.
And we just received word from police this last hour that the officer involved in this morning's shooting has been treated and released from hospital with minor injuries. We'll provide more details as they become available and have the latest updates on our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Okay, Alexandra Hollick with that breaking news we've been following out of Welland. Alexandra, thank you. Call it the $2.5 billion question. What went wrong with Ontario's troubled Skills Development Fund? Opposition parties are hoping the new investigation by an ethics watchdog will shed some light on the fund and the minister who oversees it. CTV's John Woodward has this update.
That deep dive is coming.
A deep dive, says Ontario Liberal MPP Stephanie Smythe, into Labour Minister David Piccini and his oversight of the province's controversial $2.5 billion jobs training fund.
If I were the minister right now, I'd be a little concerned.
Concerned as the province's Integrity Commissioner, Catherine Motherwell, took up Smythe's complaint about Piccini and another complaint by the NDP to see whether Piccini contravened sections of the Act and Ontario parliamentary conventions in selecting applicants to rounds 4 and 5 of the Skills Development Fund. This isn't the first time a legislature watchdog has taken a look at the Skills Development Fund. In October, the Auditor General found that the administration of almost $750 million was done in a way that was not transparent, fair, or accountable. The web of apparently connected lobbyists and companies getting millions in grants so tangled, the Ontario Liberals put it on a whiteboard.
Everywhere I go, people are saying to me, this smells fishy.
Piccini today posting a photo of himself with a grant recipient as the Premier was asked about the development at a news conference in Buffalo.
Well, I know he'll cooperate with the Integrity Commissioner. We've invested $2.5 billion. We've trained over 750,000 people.
One of those companies, Keel Digital Solutions, already under investigation by the OPP for a contract with another ministry. Piccini was photographed at rinkside seats with one company director and attended a Paris wedding with a company lobbyist. Keel has said it's just being scapegoated, but with so many connections to the halls of power, one watchdog says the OPP should refer its probe to the RCMP.
I think there's a systemic conflict of interest.
The OPP told CTV News at this stage in the investigation, no potential perceived conflict of interest has been identified. If such a conflict is identified during the course of the investigation, the OPP will take appropriate steps to determine whether the matter should be referred to another investigating agency.
We don't know how long this will take, but we do know that one way or other, the truth will come out.
The opposition settling down for a long haul. When the last Integrity Commissioner looked into a previous scandal around the Greenbelt, that report took about 8 months. 2 ministers and 4 staff members resigned. The RCMP probe there is still ongoing. John Woodward, CTV News.
Well, and as we saw earlier in Alexandra's report, Premier Ford was in Buffalo today. He was there to ink a new deal on nuclear power with the state's governor. Both leaders making repeated reference to the strength of cross-border relationships. But as CTV's Rachel Aiello reports, ties like these will soon be tested as the U.S. is demanding concessions on the 2026 review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade deal.
We're going to stand firm and let people know who our friends are.
Signing a new cross-border nuclear energy agreement, the leaders of Ontario and New York reaffirmed their cooperation.
We're here today to celebrate and strengthen the deep relationship between New York and Ontario.
Though it's these kinds of cross-border ties that will soon be tested when the CUSMA review begins. In mid-January, Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc will meet with his D.C. counterparts to launch discussions. This week, the top U.S. trade representative told Congress the Trump administration has a wish list of trade irritants Canada needs to address. Jameson Greer wants expanded access to the supply-managed dairy market.
We're obviously very concerned because all of the things that the Trump administration is talking about currently would have a direct impact.
The USTR is also unhappy with Canada's online streaming and news laws that impose obligations on major American tech and media giants.
For us, we don't see that there is a legitimate cause for this to be on the table.
The Prime Minister says these issues are just a piece of the broader discussion that's about to get underway.
We will always pursue an agreement that is in the interest of Canadian workers, Canadian families.
Those involved in the last round of trilateral trade talks say it'll be key for Team Canada to stay united.
So the talks that are going to kick off in January is the beginning of what will likely be a long process. So my advice is brace for a lot of ups and downs.
Canada did make concessions during the NAFTA renegotiation. This time around, as Donald Trump tries to extract more, those in the supply-managed dairy and egg sectors I heard from today said they expect Mark Carney not to crack. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
A small town thrown into shock after a sudden death. Coming up, CTV's Jeff Pickle takes us to Mitchell, where people are remembering the life of Cody Feltz.
Snow squall warnings and special weather statements in play as we close out the work week. We'll find out just how long these messy conditions are going to stick around coming up in the long-range forecast.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news.
A weekend walk-in clinic in Exeter is closing permanently by the end of the year. CTV's Scott Miller has more on the reasons behind the closure and what it means for the community that it has served.
Patients who used to rely on Exeter's weekend walk-in clinic will be heading elsewhere for care in just a couple of weeks.
The last day the clinic will be open will be December 28th. And then after that time, there won't be any more weekend clinics in South Huron.
True says they simply ran out of physicians willing and able to cover the weekend shift at the walk-in clinic, which was operated out of the South Huron Medical Center, directly across the street from the South Huron Hospital in Exeter.
Our physicians who work at the hospital also cover the clinic as well, and during the week and also on the weekends, and they were just getting too busy and bogged down. And so we wanted to make sure that we weren't overburdening them and causing burnout for our physicians.
Exeter's walk-in clinic was the last walk-in clinic left in Huron or Perth County, says True.
We were in a unique position to be able to offer walk-in clinics. And we were the only ones in all of Huron County and Perth County even to offer walk-in clinics. And so those are becoming harder and harder to come by. And again, it really is a matter of supply and demand. Not enough physicians to run those clinics, and that's why we're in the situation that we are.
True says another reason leading to the weekend walk-in closure is that it was funded entirely by the hospital. The province wasn't putting any money into the weekend walk-in clinic, so the hospital was having to use and pull resources from other elements of the hospital in order to pay for the weekend walk-in clinic.
This, for the moment, is a permanent reduction. Who knows what the future might hold. If we were able to recruit more physicians, perhaps there is an opportunity to open up the clinic as well on the weekends. Again, it comes down to the availability of physicians, right? And human resources has been an issue across the province, as everyone knows.
A list of options for patients seeking weekend care, including using Exeter's emergency room, which remains open 24/7, are available on our website. In Exeter, Scott Miller, CTV News.
The town of Mitchell is mourning the loss of a man described as a pillar of the community. Cody Feltz, a married father of two, was just 35 when he died last week of a cardiac episode. CTV's Jeff Pickle brings us the story of a man leaving behind a legacy of family, sport, and community.
A tender, loving father and husband.
He spoke about his family all the time and how much he loved spending time with the kids and the family and just sports on the weekend.
A courageous and dedicated firefighter.
From the beginning, just one of those genuine, lovable guys, a born leader, someone you could look up to right away.
And an absolute menace on the rugby pitch.
If you're going to tackle him, you're going to get hurt. He would take probably 3 or 4 smaller players to bring him down. Rarely one guy would bring him down.
Born and raised in Mitchell, Cody Felts was many things to many people.
From the beginning here, we knew who we had. Remarkable, dedicated leader, somebody that everybody in this building has looked up to for a long time.
And if you were lucky enough to know him well, he was an all-time joker.
There was just something about him, like you say, you knew he was kidding around, and it was okay. It was Cody, and that was the way he is, and everyone respected that and admired him for it.
On Friday, December 12th, Felts passed away after finishing up a shift working for the township. CTV News first met Cody after the blizzard of 2022, when he split time plowing the roads and rescuing drivers as a member of the West Perth Fire Department.
There we were plowing drifts that could easily hide a car, and with the visibility, you wouldn't see them until you're right there.
We again met Cody this summer when he saved a puppy from the side of the road in Mitchell.
It was a helpless little dog sitting on the side of the road, right? And it was a cold, wet day, and it was shivering and clearly scared and out of place. So, yeah, you just take it in, do the right thing.
To Cody's friends and colleagues, helping others was in his nature.
He wanted to help wherever he could. His goal was just to make everything about Mitchell and the surrounding area better.
And while Felts gained many accolades at work and on the pitch, it was at home, the husband to Kelsey and dad to Levi and Layla, that he was most proud.
First of all, I think I could probably portray him most as a family man. He loved his kids.
Remarkable father and devoted husband, just an incredible pillar of the community.
A celebration of life is being held Saturday at the Mitchell Community Center to honor and celebrate the life of Cody Felts. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Mitchell.
All right, live look outside now. Grand River Hospital, Midtown KW. Looks clear at the moment. The tower camera live shot earlier looked quite snowy, and we certainly had some flurries and a bit of a blustery afternoon today. The good news is Leanne Evans is standing by to fill us in on how the weekend's going to unfold, and we've got an early look ahead to Christmas week as well, also coming up. Criminal charges over incidents targeting the Jewish community, and the suspect also facing terrorism charges. And later, when the honor system proves not so honorable, we'll continue our look at the top 10 stories of 2025. Well, that was a very unpleasant afternoon weather-wise.
Oh my goodness, was it ever. If you stepped outside today, you noticed the blustery, windy conditions, blowing snow. My hair was going everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. And when you were doing the weather tease, I thought, you know, it's not that often we've seen a gale warning on a Great Lake, but that tells you how the winds are really whipping things up right now.
I know, and we saw gale warnings on Lake Huron earlier this week, but now it seems it's kind of surrounding the Great Lakes, and of course that is for the strong wind gusts that we're seeing.
It's that time of year.
It is.
And hey, it's the most wonderful time of the year and the most blustery time of the year right now.
It is, and the thing is we're trying to figure out, is it going to be a white Christmas? And today it seems like it, but Tony, you know how those conditions have changed, and we've seen temperature swings. If we see a certain amount of rainfall later this week, then, or sorry, early next week, then of course the snowpack could melt. So we got to keep an eye on things. But right now we are seeing snow, blowing snow, windy conditions as we take that live look outside on this Friday evening. Hopefully everyone had a nice week despite those conditions that we saw out there today. It was still a solid end to the week. We are seeing snow squall warnings in place for us in Kitchener, Waterloo through London, north of Waterloo Region, even over towards the Collingwood, Orillia area as well. This is for the lake effect snow squalls that are building off of Lake Huron, continuing into this evening, but weakening as we get into the overnight hours, looking at 5 to 15 centimeters of localized accumulation. However, if you're heading out on your evening commute, we could see some deteriorating travel conditions, and it could be hazardous at times. Also, sitting under a special weather statement for gusty winds and icy conditions here in Waterloo Region. We saw temperatures plummet throughout the day, and that caused icy and slippery surfaces. Gusty winds out of the west, upwards of about 80 kilometers an hour. And we saw a strong cold front that moved through southern Ontario, and with it brought that snowfall behind it. So here's how things play out. That's that lake effect snow that we're talking about that is coming in off the shores of Lake Huron. And as I said, it will weaken as we get into the overnight hours tonight. And by tomorrow morning, we should be waking up to dry conditions, cloudy skies, that increasing cloud building through the morning hours on Saturday, and just in time for some more lake effect snow to move in. Shouldn't be as strong as what we've seen throughout the day today. It should come in the form of scattered flurries in Waterloo Region through the afternoon hours tomorrow. Now, today, we talked about those temperatures that rapidly fell throughout the day. The high, 7 degrees. It came around 1 o'clock this morning. Temperatures have been falling off ever since, but we did kind of match our record high 6.7 set back in 2002. We probably just didn't get to experience much of it. We have been falling off. We're currently sitting at -6 in Waterloo Region, feeling much closer to -14 when you factor in the wind chill this hour. Overnight tonight, temperatures continue to drop to -10. It'll feel like -16 with the wind chill. Winds gusting out of the west upwards of about 70 kilometers an hour. They switch to the southwest by tomorrow as temperatures rise to 0 degrees, mainly cloudy conditions with some afternoon snowfall possible here in Waterloo Region. And snowy conditions could continue through Sunday with a daytime high of -5. By Monday, we should see temperatures rebound to 0 degrees with calm conditions, cloudy skies, chance for mixed precipitation by Tuesday. And then look, Christmas Eve falls on Wednesday. We're forecasting a mix of sun and cloud at this point, and a 40% chance of showers with a daytime high of 4 degrees on Christmas Day. If you're joining us from the Windsor area, mix of sun and cloud through this weekend. And again, chance of showers on Christmas Day with a daytime high of 8 degrees. Very mild is what's being forecast right now. In southern Georgian Bay, we have a double Christmas Eve there. That shouldn't be the case. Christmas Eve is Wednesday. Christmas Day
Just add another
is
Eve
Thursday.
below it on Wednesday, and then it's Christmas Eve Eve.
Christmas Eve Eve. No, you don't get 2 Christmas Eves in the southern Georgian Bay. Only Christmas Eve Eve is on Wednesday with a daytime high of 3 degrees. All right, tonight's weather watcher picture comes to us from Karen Allen in Listowel. And yeah, Karen, you captured today quite perfectly. She said it was dark and gray, I believe was the message.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of light pouring into my home when I woke up this morning, and I've got some pretty tall windows. And you know when you wake up and it's one of those mornings where you see sunlight everywhere, you feel a little different than when you don't see a lot of light?
Especially in the winter, hey?
Especially in the winter. So Karen's captured that nicely because there is some beauty out there in the winter.
As she always does. Thanks,
she sure
Karen.
does. All right. Thank you, Leanne. A Toronto man's facing a number of terrorism-related charges linked to ISIS, as well as dozens of other criminal charges related to offenses in the GTA that allegedly targeted members of the Jewish community. Here's CTV's Jeremy Shaurow with more on what we know about the suspect.
The RCMP and Toronto police announced these charges today, from kidnappings to hostage takings and terrorism charges linked to the Islamic State. 27-year-old Toronto resident Waleed Khan was taken into custody by the RCMP on November 26th. Khan is facing 7 terrorism-related offenses in connection with an RCMP investigation, including allegations that he conspired to commit murder for the benefit of, at the direction of, or in association with a terrorist group. He's also one of 3 people charged in connection with a Toronto police investigation dubbed Project Neapolitan, launched last spring after 2 violent incidents in the GTA. Khan, along with 18-year-old Osman Azizov and 19-year-old Fahad Sadat, are facing in that investigation a combined 79 charges, including kidnapping, attempted kidnapping with firearms, conspiracy to commit sexual assault, and hostage takings. Police say some of the offenses were informed in part by hate-motivated extremism and targeted women and members of the Jewish community.
It's an absolute matter of urgency. The Toronto Police Department, along with the Toronto Police Investigations Unit, are working for our governments at all levels to work with law enforcement to take the steps necessary today to prevent not just the crimes that were announced earlier this morning, but to get at the root cause of this heinous violence.
Meanwhile, earlier this week, the Canadian Security Intelligence Service said it sees no indication of a specific threat in Canada following a mass shooting at a Hanukkah celebration in Australia. But CSIS did warn of a realistic possibility of an extremist attack on the Jewish community here in Canada.
Well, it's another game night for the Kitchener Rangers, and still ahead, we'll meet a second-year player on the roster on this week's edition of Beyond the Bench. Stay with us. It's one of the busiest shopping days of the year as the countdown to the holidays continues. Forecasts from Interac predict today we'll see the highest number of transactions in the year. Nearly 25 million Interac debit card swipes and taps expected to happen. The company says most of those purchases will be fast food restaurants, grocery stores, and discount stores. The Interac holiday spending snapshot also found higher costs mean Canadians are approaching the holidays with a heightened sense of caution when it comes to spending this year. A W5 investigation has found Canadians are being aggressively targeted by fake AI-generated videos to invest in cryptocurrency scams. As CTV's Pat Foran tells us, by the time some investors realize it's a scam, they've lost their entire life savings.
How did you feel when they said you're going to have to sell your house to get your money back?
Heartbroken. I was broken into pieces.
A woman we'll call Denise of Markham, Ontario, asked us not to reveal her identity as she is devastated and embarrassed to have lost her life savings in a cryptocurrency scam. In July of 2023, she was on Facebook when she saw a story featuring billionaire Elon Musk saying she could get rich fast.
Millions of users were able to close all their debts in the first week on the platform.
It said that you just have to invest $250. And you get on his platform and you're going to make money daily.
Denise sent $250 to what she thought was Musk's platform. 2 days later, she received what she was told was $30 US in profit. Convinced it wasn't a scam, she was told if she invested more, she would make more.
And they keep calling me and tell me that people are making so much money and that if you put more, and I said, okay.
Denise decided to go all in and took out a second mortgage on her home.
I applied for almost $1 million on the equity in my home. I took it out and I started sending it to them, right? Like $350,000, $350,000.
After investing $1.2 million, she thought it had grown to over $3 million, but when she tried to take money out, she was told she needed to pay taxes and fees. She borrowed another $500,000 from family and friends and maxed out credit cards. In the end, she was scammed out of $1.7 million.
I don't have no retirement saving. Everything is gone.
There are fake AI-generated cryptocurrency videos featuring former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
We have developed an investment platform.
And current Prime Minister Mark Carney.
Make your initial deposit.
You could invest in it for as little as $250.
Donald Hanrahan of Charlottetown PEI was online when he saw a story about investing in cryptocurrencies promoted by Dragon's Den. The show currently has a warning online saying it was targeted by a number of fake advertisements on Facebook. Hanrahan started investing with small amounts, but eventually put in everything he had.
I was getting at one point about 10,000 Canadian per day, okay? And it eventually, it added up to $600,000.
When Hanrahan tried to remove his funds, he couldn't and realized he'd been scammed out of the entire amount.
I was, scammed by professional people. That doesn't give you much consolation when you've lost all that money.
According to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, Canadians lost $1.2 billion to investment scams over the past 3 years. That's only what's been reported, so it's expected it's much higher. Most involve cryptocurrencies and fake AI-generated videos.
It's really hard to know what's real now because this technology is so sophisticated now that it's really nearly impossible to know what is real and what is fake in some cases.
Is it going to get better? Is it going to get worse?
Oh, it's going to get worse.
Tomorrow, we speak with a crypto investigator who says many of the scams targeting Canadians are coming from Southeast Asia, and there is a shocking reason why the scammers may have no choice but to break the law. Pat Foran, CTV News, Toronto.
And of course, more on that on CTV National News as well tonight. But right now, let's turn to Alexandra Hollick in our studio with our top stories. We got an update today on the plan for a big new hospital for Waterloo Region.
That's right, Tony. Officials sharing today that planning is moving along at a quicker pace for the new 2 million square foot acute care hospital in North Waterloo. They're hoping that Ontario's spring budget will also provide them with a date to start construction. The province confirmed $10 million toward the planning process, but the final price tag is still unknown. The community will have to ultimately raise 25% to 30% of the total cost. New information regarding the Region of Waterloo's plan to clear an encampment from the site of a future transit hub in downtown Kitchener. A public meeting is set for January 7th to discuss the bylaw the region is hoping to use. Originally, the bylaw required residents to vacate the land by December 1st this year, but the region now proposes having it vacant by April 1st next year. According to the documentation, 2 residents remain at the encampment.
And our digital team has some stories online as well, Alexandra, including one about a house in the middle of the street.
That's right, Tony, and it's not every day that you see a house in the middle of the road, but it happened today in Wellington County after a collision in a roundabout. For more information on this story, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on our CTV News app or to download the app right now, and you can also visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony?
All right, Alexander Hollick in studio with our top stories. Thank you. Kitchener Rangers forward Andrew Vermeulen is in his 2nd season with the club and 3rd in the OHL. He shares his ultimate career aspirations in this week's edition of Beyond the Bench.
Can't clear this puck. Rangers looking for more hard one-timers score. Vermeulen on a smoker.
My name is Andrew Vermeulen. I'm a forward, and I've been playing for the Kitchener Rangers for 2 years.
Vermeulen gets the separation on the right wing side, right at the face-off dot. A one-timer, no chance there for Jovanovski.
A skill that sets me apart from other players is my shot. I find I'm able to score from out wide, basically most places in the offensive zone, and that sets me apart.
Humphreys for Vermeulen. Vermeulen for Prudhomme, score!
Playing Kitchener is unreal. The atmosphere is crazy. These fans are really diehard. They fill up this rink. I love the crowd, the atmosphere, and being a part of a team.
Rangers hit the empty net. It's the former Ice Dog, Andrew Vermeulen.
In the future, for my hockey career, my dream is to play in the NHL one day. Obviously, not everyone makes it there, but I'm looking to maybe go to school after or play somewhere professional.
The sweets of the season. Later on CTV News, we'll tempt your taste buds with some festive flavors that are also hot holiday sellers.
Holiday set decoration provided by Royal City Nursery.
In a world where we hear about so many kinds of thefts, putting the honor system to the test may seem like an outdated concept. But as CTV's Alexandra Hollick tells us, that's what a couple of local business owners found out the hard way in 2025. And it is story number 7 in our top 10.
From bushels of apples,
I've caught about 250 pounds of stolen goods.
To baked bites.
I have a lot of theft.
These businesses are built on trust.
It's amazing to do the honor system, but at the same time, it opens you up to a lot of risk of people taking advantage.
Sydney Saunders knows that firsthand. She opened the Rustic Oven, a roadside stand in Puslinch, earlier this year, where customers pay online or put cash in the box. But Saunders says when people fall out of line, she's the one on the hook.
They don't steal the money, they steal the baked goods. And then just pull. Oh, look at that.
It's a similar story at Shoe Orchards in West Montrose, where the owners were forced to police their pick-your-own policy. banning buggies, and cordoning off crops.
It takes a lot of labor, a lot of input costs, and that's what's the most disappointing for us. We put everything we have into this, and stealing just has no place in this country.
People who tend to lie, cheat, steal, and manipulate also tend to be callous and low in empathy. They're not thinking about consequences of their actions for other people. They don't care.
But not honoring the honor system can have serious consequences. In September, Waterloo Regional Police arrested and charged a 39-year-old woman from Guelph for stealing apples from Shoe.
It's disappointing.
To combat bandits at her business, Saunders installed a camera. And at times, she's turned to the community to help right customers' wrongs.
I thought, okay, a couple people might see it and, whatnot, just to kind of also get the message out there. Someone must have recognized him or whatnot and messaged him. And then he was able to get back to me.
Despite the bad apples, both businesses say their faith in customers isn't shaken.
We want people to know about our farm. We want people to know about how we grow apples.
I really like what I'm doing, and, you got to take the bad with the good. It's the pros outweigh all the negative.
While the orchard has wrapped up its season, the Rustic Oven says it plans to stay open through the winter. Alexandra Hullick, CTV News.
And we'll have more news in a moment. First, let's check in with Leanne.
Snow squall warnings and special weather statements in place as we head into the evening hours, but things are going to clear up as we get into the overnight hours. We'll tell you more coming up in Wake Up Weather. Messy conditions mean it's a great time to stay in and curl up and watch some TV. We've got The Big Bang Theory, followed by Happy's Place, Stumble, Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, and you can finish off Friday night with Boston Blue tonight on CTV.
Tonight released after decades behind bars.
Well, it's a lot of emotion. The best day of my career.
What finally opened the prison doors for a Montreal man. Later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
They played our Stevie Nicks.
Like a
winged dove sings a song that keeps on singing.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
All right. Wake up
Anyway.
weather. We got that Friday feeling.
Oh, do we ever?
Do we ever?
And it's Friday feeling and the holiday season. Oh my goodness. It certainly is feeling like winter out there. Snow squall warnings in play as we get into the overnight hours, but things will weaken by the morning. Waking up, calm conditions, cold conditions, but calm nonetheless. Hopefully some peaks of sunshine by 8 a.m. and by about 1 o'clock, the snowfall moves back in. So get out early. Get out for your morning walk.
Yes, and maybe stay in and do some baking this weekend.
Yes, Christmas baking.
A lot of families have their traditions over the holidays, that's for sure.
Yeah, the smells and tastes of Christmas can be one of the best parts of the holidays. CTV's Peter Sperling visits some businesses serving up the sweet flavors of the season.
For head pastry chef Jonathan Alexander, the taste of Christmas is
all about being festive, tradition.
Part of that tradition for many, fruitcake.
We've been people asking for them since Thanksgiving, so you can tell that people are a very big fan of them.
Time and again, we'll create more than 1,000, with the process starting in June.
We get them to soak for 6 months. Till they're nice, deep, and flavorful in flavor.
Also on the festive menu, minced tartlets, plum pudding, along with other favorites.
We love Christmas, especially me.
I love shinies and sparkles. It's not Christmas without it.
At dessert first, a twist on the traditional Yule log.
This is our Yule stump cake instead of a Yule log.
For owner Julia Gindra, a full assortment, fueled by hard work, rewarded with smiles.
You're bringing joy to other people's families, and I love to create memories and make people happy with food.
Of course, no home is complete this time of year without a gingerbread house.
This is the #1 seller, which is our large house with lights. That's what I originally started doing
25 years ago.
Customers returning year after year to the Gingerbread Man in Manotick, at times lining up.
It gives me goosebumps. I got goosebumps just as you're saying it.
Other favorites here, cookies, snaps, and a popular DIY kit.
So that you get to have the fun while we do the hard part.
Many cultures have a favorite Christmas or holiday baking tradition. For the Italian community, it's panettone.
La Bottega imports around 100 varieties from Italy each year.
This is the Italian Christmas cake. This is the one you have Christmas morning. This is the one you bring as a gift.
And how do they taste?
Let's try it out. Cheers.
Oh, if they're bad, I take.
That's really tasty.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
That's the cake that I can never decide if it's bread or cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 on that
Make
one.
me hungry, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, we're about to kind of scatter for the holidays around here.
Yeah, I know this is my last night and going into holiday break. You have some shifts still coming up. But
you'll be seeing me all over the place.
Yes, but I do just want to wish everyone happy holidays. Have a very healthy, happy holiday season, and all the best for 2026 as well, because I am back here January 2nd. So
yes.
I got a couple weeks off this holiday season.
Well, have an excellent Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Happy New Year. And for those of you so inclined, I will be joining you coast to coast on Sunday morning on CTV News Channel.
Yes.
And then back here on Monday night at 6 and on your TV screen over and over and over again.
You know what? I will tune in from my couch, which will be so nice.
Excellent. Yes. Grab a coffee, cozy up with us. Thanks for helping make our Toy Mountain such a huge success, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Take care.